It's Thursday morning, and it's time for Tech for Seniors Live, where technology gets its deserved deep dive. This isn't happening via Zoom, so we can't see who's joining the show. So please sign in to the chat box below as we gather around the screen, both far and wide, with curiosity as our ever-trusty guide. We'll navigate the digital seas, a knowledgeable crew, exploring all the tech tips, both old and new. No need for cameras, no need for dress. Just bring your questions and we'll address. From gadgets to apps and all the tech lore, we're here to help, to teach, and much more. So type away in the chat. Don't be shy. Our tech-savvy hosts are here to reply. It's Thursday morning. Let the tech talk flow at the Tech for Seniors Live, the best tech show.
Well, good morning. I'm Ron Brown, and this is Tech for Senior Live. This is August the 15th, and I want to welcome everybody here today. We have a great show for you, and we are going to show you that we can bring you back from the dead. Yes, we have a way now of bringing you back from the dead, but you got to listen to the show. We're going to talk about that today and all the tech news of the week. And no, I'm not crazy. Now, for all of you who are about to leave thinking that we're a bunch of crazy people, we're not. We've actually been doing this for 5 years. And we started with our Monday show, which of course is on Monday, and it's a Zoom meeting. And of course, we have a very learned group of people here today. We're going to go over those. I'll introduce everybody in just a minute. So they're very wise people. So I said to them earlier today when I announced we can bring you back for the dead, I was worried they'd all take off and I'd be the only one doing the show today, but they all assured me they understood it. So it is true. We're going to show you how to come back from the dead. Now, anyway, we have our Monday show, which of course is a Zoom meeting, and we broadcast that out to YouTube. But this is not a Zoom meeting. So I'm look over on my other screen here. People are already logging in to our Monday show, and we'll see you Monday because we're not there. Anyway, we have this is, of course, broadcast out through StreamYard, and it goes out to our Facebook page and our YouTube feed. So hopefully you're in the right spot. If you're over on our Zoom meeting, you need to come this way over here and just come to our YouTube channel or our Facebook. Now, speaking of that, I wanted just to bring up, let everyone know, is as we go through the articles today and we discuss our Facebook today, the articles, you'll see them on our Facebook feed. And this is our Facebook feed. Just go to Facebook and type in Tech for Senior, and you'll find you'll find it. So that's our Facebook feed, and you can follow along with the articles. We post articles every day, and it works out all through the week, and it keeps rolling along. So just, you can have a look at the articles as we go along. All right, let me introduce everyone today. Bob's away, so of course we have my partner on our Monday show, which we've done, I think, was it 280 shows now, starting how many
227.
227. Okay. And I can't count more than left and right hand. Huey's got more toes and hands than I do. And so anyway, Huey, how are you? Oh, so I want everyone today, when you're introducing yourself, I'll introduce you, but tell us what cell phone you have. I want to know what cell phone you have. Huey, what cell phone do you have?
Expensive.
Yeah.
I have a Galaxy S22 Ultra.
Samsung S22. Okay, that's good. And you like it? You're happy with it?
I can't see a reason to get one of the newer ones yet. It works great.
Looks good.
And they build them so they're every 2 years you basically have to get a new one. And
right.
So whatever the price is, you divide that in half, and that's what it costs you a year to have a telephone.
Sure.
It's a lot of money.
All right. Now, today we have a special guest. He's so smart and so in demand. We only get him once a month. Isn't that just too bad? So that's, of course, Mr. Bill James from Oklahoma. He teaches on our Monday show. He talks about Mac operating systems. He talks about Windows operating systems. He's a gadget guy. He has all the latest technology. And we only get him once a month. So welcome. We are so happy to have you here, Bill. And you tell us what phone you have.
I have a Galaxy S24 Ultra.
Galaxy S24 Ultra. Okay. That's the latest one, right?
That's the latest one.
And you also have to go with that a new Galaxy Watch, right?
A Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra.
Watch 7 Ultra. Okay.
And but he was correct. It's kind of an expensive investment, but I want to take advantage of the trade-ins.
Right.
And so that cuts the price down somewhat.
All right. And then, of course, we have a man that's been with us since the very beginning. He's the president of APCUG. He's also the treasurer of APCUG. Very smart guy, very nice guy. That, of course, is Mr. Ray Baxter from Pine, Arizona. And Ray, what phone do you have?
Well, as if you didn't know.
I know which phone you have.
I have the Samsung Galaxy Flip 5.
Yes. Okay,
and,
good.
I got that as a special deal when I changed carriers from Verizon to T-Mobile. T-Mobile offers 5G where I live. Verizon does not, and they had no plans to do that. So I switched carriers after being with Verizon for about 20 years. But
right.
Otherwise, I would probably still be using my Flip 3. Because unlike you guys, I don't change my phone every year or every other year. I keep it as long until it stops working.
Okay. All right. Good. So, of course, now the reason I wanted to find out what phones you have is, of course, and I have, of course, as you know, I just bought the Pixel 8 Pro, and so I have the which I've only had for 3 weeks. And as you know, I talked myself into that a month ago when we were doing the show, and I went online and to the Pixel store. It's how much are those anyway? And then it turned out they were like $500 off. So I went and bought mine, and with the trade-in on it that I got for my Pixel 6, it was about half price. In other words, in Canada, they were $1,395. And I got mine with the trade-in and the discounts for about $700. So it was half price. So that's what I have now. And the reason I'm bringing this up, of course, is because today, Tuesday was, of course, the big Google event, and they announced their new phones and their new products today. And we're going to talk about that right after we find out if anyone's listening to us. So Huey, have we got any comments? Anybody listening out there? Or do we need to bring him back from the TED? Ed says 80 degrees sunny in central New Jersey. Hi, Ed. Sally Ann, comfortable weather with highs of 70s. Expect more in the next week. Jim Talman, looking forward to lower humidity this week in Venice, Florida. Ron Zoner, hello from the Fraser Valley. Ron, now hold on. Is Ron new then? Is Ron?
That is a new name to me.
Ron, if we haven't seen, we're going to give you a big round of applause for being here. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for coming. If you've been here before and we're just too old and we can't remember that you've been here, we apologize, right? But that's seniors moment. But I think you're new here on the show, so we hopefully have a good time today, and we're not really that crazy. Mm-hmm. We're really serious people, right? Right, Huey?
No, okay. No, we're crazy.
Crazy after all these years.
And where is Fraser Valley? Anyone know?
That's over in the Fraser Valley, would be in the Lower Mainland over in Vancouver. So I guess he's from.
Oh, okay.
Richard Clarkson, hello from Southern California, 74 degrees now and will be in the mid-90s later on. Bernard, Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan, 78 degrees. Bob Baxter, Bellevue, Washington, heading for cool 76 with clouds. Steve Powell, Kirkland, Washington, 64 degrees. Bob Baxter, I have 2 iPhones, 14 Pros. Jolyn, greetings from Low Country, South Carolina. Welcome, Jolyn. Jolyn, of course, is the techie of all techs. She's been doing it for a very long time, and when we don't know the answer, we go and ask Jolyn. She's our go-to person. She's really smart. So, welcome, Jolyn. Thanks for coming today.
And I hope her and her group weathered the storm.
Yes, Jolyn said she did. I talked to her about it, and she didn't. They managed quite well, actually. Richard Clarkson, Galaxy 23 Plus here. I'm waiting for Richard to take the bullet on this one and buy an upgrade. I keep telling Richard he's a techie guy. He really likes tech, and so anyway, we'll see what he has to say. Geeks on Tour, Jim, Chris, good day from the Geeks in Southern Florida, 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Sally Ann Mowbray, I have a Galaxy inexpensive model. Yes, they don't all have to be the expensive models. JJ, 71 degrees with little rain in Waukegan, Illinois. Dick Vogel, I'm enjoying the Galaxy S23 Ultra in 92 degrees Fahrenheit, Central Florida. Jolyn Bowler, Pixel 7a here, thinking about the 9 Pro. Well, Jolyn, we can talk about that today, and we will give you some advice on that. Gerald Smith, West Seattle, 62 degrees. Helen has a Pixel 8 Pro, and I have a Pixel 8. There you go. Well, I have the Pixel 8 Pro as well. So that's where we are today. Well, there we go. Nice group of people. Which is great. And we are going to, first of all, for the first next about 10, 15 minutes, I just wanted to go over the Google event and all the products that were released. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to bring this up. The event, of course, on Tuesday was made by Google. And this was a Google event that they released a bunch of hardware. But I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. One of the things that is interesting about this event, which you should be aware of, is that Made by Google event is an annual event, but it always occurred usually in November. And so they changed it this year and they upped it to August So why did they do that? And there's a good reason for that. So they moved it from November to August, and they released their hardware earlier than normal. And the reason for that, nobody really knows why Google does anything, right? But but the reason is that, as you know, Samsung sells around 180 million phones a year. iPhone sales are around 140 million a year. And we have Motorola sells about 40 million a year. But the Google Pixel line sells less than 10 million. They're a very, very, very small player, but significant because, of course, Google makes them. And but I got a feeling that and when you see what they did, you'll see why this makes sense. You'll see their Pixel 8 probably wasn't selling as well. The market's really competitive right now with Galaxy, with Samsung, with the Apple. Really competitive. They're having trouble selling a lot of their phones, and so they really needed to come out and capture that market and do some marketing to sell these phones before next year. And you'll see why that's so important in just a minute. And so that's I think that this is to boost the sales up of these phones, and to leapfrog ahead into next year, where the Pixel 10 will be coming out. So let's talk a little bit. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So what are these phones that we see? And you'll see Best Buy has them on now. And meet Google 9 with Gemini, and you get a $500 gift certificate. Now, I don't know. Did you guys actually watch the event? If you're in the audience and you actually watched the Google event, and I did watch it, and not just the summary, and half of it. So you would expect in an event like this that they would start by showing all their phones and all that sort of thing, and their watches and doing that. But they didn't. What they talked about for the first half of the event was Gemini Live. It was all about AI and Gemini. It was all about Gemini. It wasn't about phones. It was all about Gemini. And then we got a quick run through of the phones, the watches, and the earbuds and stuff like that. It was a very small part at the end. It was all about Gemini, which was really interesting. So now let's have a look at the thing that I'm going to show you now. Why this isn't such a big deal. So the new phones, the iPhone, or sorry, the Pixel 9s have the G4. The Google makes their own chips now, and they're called Tensor chips. Like Mac has their M series. These are Tensor chips. So the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro has the Tensor 3. So the new phones, the Google the 9s have the Tensor G4. So what's the difference between the G3 and the G4 for these new phones? Like, what's the big difference? All right. So if we look at that in this diagram, and I'm not going to, you can actually, you may or may not be able to see this, but you can easily find this on the internet. You will see that that there is actually no difference between the Tensor G3 and the G4. They're exactly the same, the same chip, except for one specific feature, and this is in the modem. They've changed the modem in the Tensor G4, which makes it compatible with satellite connectivity because of the SOS feature that, of course, Samsung has and iPhones have, where you if you're out of cellular range and you get in a car accident, you need to send an SOS message. You can send it through satellite, but in order to do that, you have to have a chip you have to have the modem so that it can communicate with satellites, right? And they didn't. So the G4 chip will now do will communicate with satellites. The other thing is that if you had problems in the past, and there have been problems with the 6, 7s, and 8s with cellular connectivity, they're actually people have had trouble connecting to certain networks. I've never had this problem, but some people have reported in certain networks in the United States they have trouble connecting with. So with the modem change to a different modem will certainly probably help that people that had connectivity problems. But the big one was the SOS feature. And aside from that, the chips are the same. The G3 and the G4 are exactly the same. So there is nothing. The big jump will be, of course, next year with the Pixel 10. And there's the arm that's making this chip. The big jump will be next, where there's a big leapfrog in power coming. In other words, there's a big design change coming. But so I think that Google wanted to get in under the wire, get their event going, sell some phones before they leapfrog quickly into next year for the Pixel 10. All right, so that's really sets the sail for this and say, hey, this is what. And of course, the big issue was Gemini and how they can promote Gemini Live and get Gemini Live promoted. So that's really where we are. And here are of course the three Pixels. There's the Pixel 9, the Pixel 9 Pro, and the Pixel 9 Pro XL. And I'm not going to go into all the details. You know, that's readily available. They do the other thing they did is they changed the front-facing camera to a 50 megapixel rather than being a I think 10 megapixel camera. So, but aside from that, the phones are very similar in horsepower and all the things they do. They've added a few features that I'll talk about in a minute. Does anyone have any further before we talk about anything else to add? Huey, do you have any thoughts or comments? Nothing more to. I own a Pixel, so I'm following this along now. Why this was so important to me, and you're going to say, Ron, why didn't you just wait a month to buy the Pixel 9? Because I just bought, last year's model. Well, I knew all this data. This data has been out. They've leaked this data for a very long time, and I got mine for half price. If I wanted to wait now and get the Pixel 9, it's $1,395, right? So since there is really a little difference, then that's sort of where we are. All right, I want to get going quickly, so otherwise we're going to just spend all the time on this. And of course, they have the Fold phone, which is pretty expensive. Probably not a lot of people are going to spend $2,300 for this unless you're in a business or have some specific application for this. But I want to talk about the watches. Now, the Pixel 3 watch is about the same as the Pixel 2. They've made a little bit of change, but not much. But they did bring out a new feature. And I want to and this is where we get bringing you back from the dead. So I have a little video I want to play for you, and then we'll get on with looking at the new news article. So here's the video I want to play for you.
I think the average person doesn't think about their pulse. It's something that we take for granted. The phrase loss of pulse is one that many people may not have heard of, but a loss of pulse event could really happen to anyone.
Loss of pulse is a health emergency when the heart is not beating in a life-sustaining fashion. We have all of this infrastructure in place to get people help as quickly as possible, but it's all predicated on the idea that someone will be there to make a call to emergency medical services on your behalf. But we know that more than half the time, people experience these events with no one around, and they are virtually unsurvivable if you don't have someone to help. So we've built a loss of pulse detection feature for the Pixel Watch that is the first of its kind. It can detect if someone has lost their pulse, is non-responsive, and can make a call to emergency medical services where key information is provided, like the location of where the user is, so they can get help as quickly as possible.
A loss of pulse event is really a time-critical emergency. The feature is specifically looking for a pulse, but also looking at physiological and motion data, and then tying these together in a really smart algorithm driven by AI that lives completely on the watch. When a loss of pulse event occurs, every minute that we can save increases the odds of survival.
We hope This can be an airbag moment or smoke detector moment, something that can become standard to help keep us safe when life may bring the unexpected.
So this is a new feature that's out on the Pixel Watch 3. I'm going to say it's in beta rather than rather than prime time. It's only being released initially in the United States in certain locations, because this, of course, is going to have to be integrated into 911 calling. It's not coming to Canada, so at least anytime soon. So just it's there. We'll see where we go with this. I'm going to have lots of videos out, lots of talk about this. I just want to let people know that it is available. It is interesting how these devices now we're able to monitor more and more important things, right?
Well, is this a frequent occurrence? I've not heard of that before.
When your heart stops, you
Well,
die. That's a heart attack.
I know, but I've never heard of.
That's why we teach people CPR and all that sort of stuff. So if someone drops dead and their heart stops, you give them CPR and it hopefully gets their heart going and you come back to life, right? That's the idea. The idea with this, the problem is if you're by yourself, then that's not such a good, you can't do CPR on yourself. So we need to get help to you quickly, right?
Yeah.
So
how do they test that? Do they kill people just to see if it works?
Well, that's another. Stay tuned, and if you want to find more about this, you keep watching Tech for Senior, because we're going to have lots of videos about it. We're going to talk about it lots on the show. So you keep watching. New feature just came out. The last one. Sorry,
I was just wondering, is this in conjunction with a heart attack?
A heart attack is certainly one of the things. When your heart stops, you die.
Okay.
So it is. So anyway, new feature that's just coming out. And the last one, of course, was the Pixel Buds Pro. These are the earbuds that go in the ears, and they've brought out a few minor changes, about the same. I have them. I like the Pixel Buds Pro. They fit in my. They come in this cool little case like this, and they fit. They actually fit in outside your ear, and they just lay in your ear, and they're really actually quite nice to use. I've had mine for 2 or 3 years now, and I use them all the time. So I like mine. So anyway, if you're a Pixel Bud person, then those are the. So that was the Google lineup. But the interesting thing about it was mostly Gemini. So that was sort of cool. Huey, do we got any comments? And anything before we get on with the news articles?
Let's see where we left off here.
Jolyn says, yes, I watched the event. Yeah, there you go. I knew Jolyn would. She keeps up on everything. Yep. Geek Center, I'll probably get the 9 Pro when my old phone is paid off. Jim, you should wait till next year and get the 10. It's going to be a big difference. Richard says, I may get the Pixel 9 Pro at some point after they have been out for a while. Well, they're only going to be out for a short time before Pixel 10 comes along, Richard. So I'd wait. Richard says, I watched it too. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Ask Chris anything at 2 p.m. Eastern time today. Yep. There you go. All right, let's get on with the articles. Let's see. Let's share my screen. We'll get on here and we will share it. I'll make it a little bit bigger for us. See how we do here. And I think I refreshed it. And let's come down here.
Don't forget to close out the left-hand panel.
Yeah. There we go.
Don't.
Oh, I got to do that up here. I did. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Okay, the first one I can't see. That's Ray's. So Huey, have you got that?
Yep, it's showing right now.
Let me have a go. Yeah, just stage. There we go. There you go. Go ahead, Ray.
Okay. Well, this is that's not the one I thought was going to come up. So let me just nuclear power. So Amazon is building their data centers next to existing nuclear power plants, and they've done this one in Pennsylvania. As I said, it's adjacent to an existing plant. that's in operation. And what they're doing is they get a direct connection to the plant. So they've gotten so much power, but they still want more. And it might sound like a good idea until there's critics that say, wait a minute, Amazon is getting all of this electricity that we have a difficulty with the electric grid to begin with. They're getting all this electricity at discounted rates, which means everybody else, their rates are going up to support the plant to begin with. So as you can expect, this is going to the courts, and we'll see where it lands. But I thought this was interesting that nuclear, which I have always thought, if it's safe, is the way to go to, and not to wear out the electric grids that we have that are feeling what's going on right now with power needs.
Huey, I think Ray had 2 articles before that. Can you go back up, because I can't see? I can see that article, but I can't see. If you could just go up.
Refresh. Yeah, hang on. I got to refresh. Yep.
There you go, Ray.
All right. This is an article that I posted within the last 5 minutes. So this is hot off the press. I only saw this morning, but what jumped out at me is this is talking about where Toyota is really going to be focusing on hybrids only. There, you know what the article said, that the Prius is now 3 decades old. The Prius has been around for a long, long time, but now Toyota is going to be moving to eliminate gasoline only cars, but they're not going to have electric only either. They're going to really focus on the hybrids. And so Carol has a hybrid. She's had this for 12 years, a Toyota Camry. She still gets 40 miles to the gallon, and she's not giving it up anytime soon.
So for my plug-in hybrid, Ray, that I have, and I've had it 8 months, I finally used up a tank of gas. That's the original tank of gas that I had in the car when I got it. So anyway, there you go. All right, we're good.
All right. Break up Google. Wait a minute. Say it isn't so. A federal court decision that Google maintains an illegal monopoly over the search market. The Department of Justice wants to fix this problem by breaking up Google. What does this remind us of? Go back to 2001, and Microsoft had this similar situation with Internet Explorer. So here is our tax money being paid to government lawyers for years to come, while most experts say such a forced split is unlikely. I say let the market decide.
It's interesting, Ray, though, that I read a few articles about the judgment this past week, and it is quite interesting how predatory Google was, and the totally illegal, nasty things they did. It was really quite, the judgment, I thought, was, and you're right, let the market decide, but I'm just going to say that Google really did some pretty awful things. I mean, it was pretty nasty. But anyway, they're as Microsoft did too, way back, with Windows, they did the same thing. So I don't know, Ray. I think that there's going to be something's going to happen. I mean, I think that whether they get broken apart or not, I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But there is going to be changes.
Now we're down to the one about the nuclear plants. But
Yeah.
didn't I read somewhere that one of them is having one of the nuclear plants is having an issue with some leakage? So I hope not, and I hope they get it fixed quickly so that there's not a lot of talk about not using nuclear plants to give us power because of the problems and dangers of a problem.
Yeah, I like the idea of using of the newer, much smaller nuclear facilities that are being built. A lot of them are being built in Europe, Sweden in particular. And that seems the way to go because you're using the latest technology with these nuclear facilities.
Ray, this is yours as well.
Okay, so I've mentioned before about that the European Union had passed legislation that required USB-C as the connector for all phones including Apple. So Apple wisely chose, rather than trying to continue with their other long-running Lightning, to just adopt USB-C. And the article goes on to explain all these other benefits of Apple using USB-C, such as easily connecting now to external displays. So my point is, if you've been on the fence about a new iPhone, you may want to read this article.
I was reading, I was looking at cool features on my new Pixel 8 Pro, and one of them is being able to connect through USB-C directly to a monitor. So if you have a monitor that has USB-C, you can just plug your phone right into it, and it just displays right on the monitor.
That's true, and I actually use USB-C on my mini computer to connect a monitor to it.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I use an adapter. So it's an old monitor with VGA, but I found an adapter that works, and it works fine.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
Like having a computer with two monitor connections.
Yeah, yeah. Huey, this is 7 things you didn't know about cord cutting.
Well, it's 7 things I wish I'd known before. Before they started. And one of this, actually, the last one is important in the fact that you can go ahead and try the different services without cutting off any cable service or what you use, so you can test it out. And that's I've always recommended that, and several of the other items I've also recommended along the line. But if you're thinking of cutting the cord, and I understand that cutting the cord now is a term that's going to go away because you're not really cutting the cord. And there's no purpose to it. It's not as cheap as it used to be. So you're not saving money when you do it and so on. It's just that technology is changing.
All right. Excellent. And then, of course, we... should you use 2 or 4 sticks of RAM? Okay. What's with a stick?
Well, that's how memory is populates your computers, and some computers have 4 slots. And do you use 2 of the memory sticks with more memory, or do you use 4 and divide it up 4 ways instead of 2 ways? And the article basically says it's a lot faster if you have 2, and there's other benefits to using just 2.
Okay. All right. And then this is the 5 best slideshow template resources. Trust for my presentations. Oh, that's interesting.
Right. If you use slideshow programs like PowerPoint or slides from Google, you might want to look at this. This gives you some websites that you can get different backgrounds and different themes and templates, so you don't have to use the same ones over and over again.
Bill, are you doing a lot of PowerPoint work? I thought some of your presentations were on PowerPoint. Are you using?
I do. I use a lot of PowerPoint.
Uh-huh. And do you use any outside resources on it, or do you?
I used to use the built-in features of PowerPoint, like the designer, where it will provide you with different backgrounds and templates. I haven't tried using any third-party ones.
Any third parties? Bill and Ray, do you use PowerPoint too? Don't you?
I've been using it since the early 2000s. Yes, and what I've not started, and I'm thinking there's newer design features, and they're always popping up when I want to start a new project, and I've usually dismissed them and gone with what's worked for me in the past, so there's no surprises when I'm giving a presentation. But I think I'm going to move towards some of the newer, brighter ones that are available today.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of them are editable. And then the first one they mentioned is Canva, which has a huge template builder in it for slideshows, among other things.
Right. So Gemini Live, Bob Bob was busy publishing a bunch of stuff this morning before his trip, and he was talking to Gemini. So I wondered if anyone's in the audience has been chatting away to Gemini Live now. Have you tried it, Huey, yet?
No, I haven't. I've been busy. I'm a poll worker, and this is early voting. So all my spare time has been working instead of playing on the computer.
So those of you who don't know, but the Google Assistant is going away, and Gemini will be replacing the Google Assistant. And and now with Gemini Live, I don't have it yet, and I guess it'll be coming soon to Canada. But you can sit and chat to it, and they did some demos of that. So if you're listening in the audience, maybe you could, if you've done any chatting, let us know. Is it a nice chat? Are you getting much conversational stuff there? That's sort of cool. The other thing is that with all these new devices coming on the market now, you can often snafu a bunch of good deals. And if you want to look at the Pixel Buds Pro, there's a $30 gift card when you pre-order Google's new earbuds through the Google Store. This was just a Tom's Guide. This was an article. If you are interested in the Pixel Watch 3 and look at the features that are there, this is a great article. I'm not going to go through it all, but you can have a look at that, and that will give you. The other thing they did with the Pixel Watch 3 is that it comes now in two sizes. So you have the two different sizes. They have the larger size now than before the Pixel Watches only came in one size. But I'm not going to go through the whole article.
And Tom's Guide, where that's located, is really a good source of information.
Yeah.
So if you've never gone to it, it's worth taking a look at.
I agree. I support that too.
Right. Did Bill go off the screen on purpose, or can we add him to the stage?
No, I'm here.
Okay, there. Oh, who's this?
Well,
what's your dog's name?
Dog got up in my lap, and he did something. So that's the reason why.
What's his name? What's his name, Bill?
Frankie Cooper.
And he of course, I see he's a regular watcher of Tech for Senior Live, right?
Yeah.
he certainly likes the show. All right, there you go. This is I wanted to just let everyone know that although we talk about very expensive phones, the flagship sort of premium phones and watches, Motorola quietly releases new budget friendly smartwatch. And this is on sale for about $130. I drilled down and tried to find, any watch, that smartwatch you're going to buy, you should get notified on maximum and minimum heart rate speeds. You want to be notified if it gets too slow or too fast. And I can't see, this monitors your pulse, but I can't see it gives you notification. So I'm not quite sure whether it gets my seal of approval, but just to let you know there are other options out there.
I noticed the screen is showing the old watch face, but that's programmable, right? That can be digital as well. So the Gen X's can actually know what time it is.
Yes. Yes. So this is a video Bob put out. Of course, Bob's away. New video, a conversation with Google. So Bob's been chatting away to Gemini Live, and he's been recording them and telling you how his chat's going. As you can see in the bottom on the corner here, it says that's not right. And as he's going through the chatting with it, it's not all true what it says. So anyway, that's interesting. It's just this just was released, so then this will be your new Google Assistant. This was sort of interesting. Ray, did you ever have this problem? I guess you would know. You didn't have the large screen, but no. So one of the problems with the Pixel Folds were that when you bought this expensive phone, you folded it open like a desktop. You only had the small image of the app in the center of the screen, right? It didn't expand and fill the screen out. And there was a big problem with that. And we saw that in the Chromebooks. When the Chromebooks first started getting apps from the Play Store, you often had the designers had designed and built the apps so they only were for a phone screen, and now you had a big screen on a Chromebook, so it didn't expand up. And this was the same problem they had, and apparently Google's fixed that now, so that any app that you get will fill the whole screen up. But what a downer! You spend that money, $2,000, you open it up and it's just a tiny little, like it was for the other screen. It didn't expand up. That'd be not a happy situation. So anyway, they fixed that.
Good.
They fixed that. Yeah. Now this was interesting. So no to eSIMs. All the Google products all have physical SIM cards. And remember, Apple brought in a program a year or two where they are only eSIMs on iPhones sold in the United States. So it is, if you buy an iPhone in the United States, there are no SIM cards. And if you buy it anywhere else in the world, you can put SIM cards in. So the article wrote, what was the advantage of an eSIM? Like, and I don't know the answer to that. And
wasn't it that with an eSIM, in other words, with a SIM card, you have one more opportunity for water to get into the phone. And
I guess the physical
to make it completely waterproof, and they have the different ratings of water and dust proof.
Oh, okay.
And you can get the highest rating when you don't have a SIM card, because that's one less opening of the phone.
One less opening. Okay. Well, anyway, Google didn't put SIM card. Didn't put there's you use physical SIM cards, so that's sort of cool. Huey, this is yours. FTC finally finalizes ruling.
I guess you missed something.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, one of yours. It's not showing.
All right. This was an interesting one. So this is Texas is suing General Motors for collecting and selling drivers' data. So this is a big deal. All the major car manufacturers do this. They collect. In fact, they make more money collecting data and selling it. There have been articles that have said that they make more money collecting data and selling it than they make actually on the car. And I don't know if you remember, but 2 years ago, we reported that BMW was going to, not only was it was going to turn on and off the services as you rented the service. So if you wanted a heated steering wheel, it was $10 a month, and they would track you and turn it on or off in the car, depending on, when you wanted it on. So the whole concept of tracking and data is a big deal, and they all do it. And they sell your data and make money. And when I bought my Toyota RAV4, I couldn't understand why the salesman was so adamant about me downloading and installing the Toyota app. And in fact, the salesman got $100 to confirm that the app had been downloaded and installed on my phone. And because, it's sort of cool. The app tracks the car and it does all sorts of cool stuff, but it also tracks me and sends data back to Toyota, right? So they all do it. So this is going to be a big argument over the next few years. And Texas decided enough is enough, and they decided to take GM on. So interesting article, and more to come on that.
Now, Ron, is that remember the data that the insurance companies want? I know one of my auto insurance company about a year ago offered me a big discount on the price if I allowed this device in my car that monitors my driving. I chose not to take it.
Huey did, and Huey just...
Yeah, I just switched companies, and I do have it, and I just got it working the day before yesterday. So I'm taking a look at it. But I also did an article for Tech for Senior, probably a year or two ago, about the different car companies collecting data and the kind of things that they collect and sell and make money on. So,
Huey, before we get into the final stretch here, do you have any Have we got any comments?
We do.
Do we?
Let's
Someone's
see,
listening
yes.
to us?
Yeah.
Richard Clarkson, Edison had a nuclear power plant named Songs, San Onofre nuclear generating station. It's inactive at the present time.
Yeah, that used to be close to where I lived when I was living in Orange County, California.
So California Edison owns it. Jolin, I have a Pixel 9. If I have Pixel 9 purchased in the US and travel Canada, will the satellite backup connection not work? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. I know that there was an article that we're coming to that its satellite is not going to be offered on the phones in Canada, period. And they have not said when that's going to occur. But you would think that the satellite would be wherever you are and wherever you travel, but I don't know the answer to that, John. Richard Clarkson, I don't have a Gemini on my phone or laptop.
Well, doesn't he have Gemini in his Google Chrome?
No, Gemini. Well, it's Google Assistant, but Richard has a Samsung phone. Now, I would naturally have mine loaded because it's I've got the Pixel phone. It may be that you probably don't have Google Assistant. Probably Gemini you have to download. There's a Gemini app that you go to the Play Store. Just go there to the Play Store and type in Gemini and you download and install it.
So I didn't realize that. So there's a Gemini app, and as well as that's what Google calls their AI feature that's available automatically.
Yeah, if you have a Pixel phone, it's part of Google Assistant. In other words, in the last update, it's there now, and it will be, and it's part of the phone, right? Because Google Assistant is part of the phone, so it just occurs. But I think if you have Samsung, you have different phones, then you can download Gemini as an app right on the store, and then you just go there and. In fact, I checked mine this morning just to make sure that it was up to date and it's there and so on and so forth. So it's an app from Google. Steve Parker, Ray, small portable reactors will be great if they can do it. Where's my Mr. Fusion? Remember Back to the Future.
Way to go, Steve.
Yeah. Murray Strom, good morning from Victoria, BC, where it's another nice sunny day. Yes, it's going to be nice. Is your RAV4 one of the ones yes, it's a plug-in. I have the plug-in RAV4. So there's two types of hybrids. There's the plug-in hybrid, which means when I plug it in and keep it on plugged in overnight, then I have a charge of about 50 miles I can drive before it has to be recharged. If I don't recharge it, it just goes into the regular hybrid mode, which is a combination of gas and hybrid. So if you don't have the plug-in, then you just drive it normally as a normal car, fill it up with gas, but there's a battery and the engine continually figures out what's the best time to run the electricity versus gas. Do you have Chrome? I do have Chrome as my default browser. Right. I also have Google Assistant. Yeah, so I don't know if Google Assistant will automatically, on a Samsung phone, automatically go to Gemini. I don't know that. If you want, I would just download the Gemini app from the Play Store, and it should.
I get offered.
Pardon me?
I was going to say, when the Google Assistant kicks in and it answers, I get offered to try Gemini.
Oh, do you? Okay, there you go. So if you, Richard, if you're using Gemini, Google Assistant, use Google Assistant, it'll probably offer you then to download and install Gemini. Dick says, my insurance app and tracking device gives me a score on every trip. I have to report the car's mileage about twice a year to keep my premium discount. Yeah. There you go.
That's mine too.
Yeah. Murray Strom, there is no rebate for the ones you cannot plug in here in BC. No, I got a rebate. Maybe I'm sorry, I can't remember. It may be different maybe different from the plug-in versus the regular hybrid. Okay, is that it then?
Yep.
Okay, let's come up here and come down. Did we talk about this one, Huey? FTC finalized?
No, we didn't.
I think that's yours, isn't it?
Yeah, the Federal Trade Commission finalized a rule banning fake reviews, including those made with AI. So hopefully that will stem some of the fake reviews you're seeing.
Okay, I'll come down.
One other important thing from the things that people have posted.
Oh yeah, John says click and tap thumbs up to support the channel, and certainly subscribe. Would certainly appreciate that. Thanks, John, to remind everybody.
Yeah, that helps us a lot. So please do that.
Sure does. Thanks a lot. Huey, this is yours.
Yeah, things you need to do after installing iOS 17.6.1, which I just installed yesterday on my iPad. So if you have an iPad or an iPhone, there is an update to 17, and it's 17.6.1. And once you do that update, there are some things that you want to go and turn on or turn off, depending upon how you look at it. But do take a look at that article.
Google's this is an article from The Verge that just came out today. Google's Pixel 9 phones are the first to get satellite SOS for Android. So that would be, we talked about that. Google officially, the other thing is Google officially discontinued the Pixel Fold, Pixel 7, and the Pixel 7 Pro. I think there's still some pretty good deals out there. You'll see these still online, and these are still great phones. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just one of the things we don't know, which we didn't talk about, is we don't know, since there's very little difference between the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 8, is are they going to backdate or how will I put it, retrofit some of the AI features that they showed in the Pixel 9. And the history with Google is sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So I'm not sure how many of the features that will be coming down to the Pixel 7. Anyway, sometimes it's a good deal. This was interesting. We always talk about 5G. And, I remember talking when it first came along. But just to let you know that the US and Sweden team up, and they're already actually fairly advanced in their planning of the 6G network, which, of course, is the next generation. So interesting that the planning is going ahead. Judge tells Google to brace for shakeup of Android App Store as punishment for running a monopoly. So yes, they're interesting. The next one, can you? The next one,
I've got it.
Got it. Good. Yes, so we talked about this a lot, and Google Wallet, of course, allows you to set up digital IDs from photos. So if you have a photo of something, you can set up a digital ID, such as a photo of a passport or a driver's license. You can set up digital IDs with that. And as I was buying my Chinese food, we go to the only time I usually use my debit card is because this little restaurant that we go to get our Chinese food doesn't take credit cards, so I have to use, and I don't carry cash with me, so I have to use my debit card. And as I've said, and I did a whole video, Bob and I did a video about this, do not use your debit card. Keep it in your whatever, but if you want to use your debit card, if you put it in your digital wallet, then it's secure, and you don't want to be plugging in your debit card into a portable little scanner that some small little restaurant has. You don't know how secure that is, and you don't want your password and stuff being compromised. But the wallet, which we've talked about before, gets around that. Where are we here? Am I on you? Oh, I'll come back over. Are we okay then? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's on yours.
Let's see what's on mine here. Add to stage. I think we're here. This is a good article on first impressions. Just click this if you're interested. Jolyn, maybe you're interested in the phones, or Jim. This is a good article on them. Huey, this is yours on how to turn off.
Yeah, every time there's a new feature that comes out, whether it be in Windows or Google or whatever, people have been waiting for this. They always say something that, like, Microsoft forgot to put this in the new version of Windows. And then there's always people that when it's put in there, they don't like it. So they don't want it. So if you don't like the overview results in Google searches, there's a way now that you can turn it off.
Okay. And so what's this about?
Seniors embrace AI. Classes boom as older adults explore revolutionary tech and tackle scams. So there's been more and more information about AI for seniors, and they're starting to learn more about it, and it's available for them.
Okay. And in fact, you do a course as well, don't you, Huey, once a month?
Yeah, I do a Let's Talk AI, and it's the fourth Friday of the month. So that's coming up pretty soon.
And if people wanted to find out more about that, how would they find?
They need to send me an email, and I'll add them to the list. And I'll be sending out a newsletter in the next week of information about AI, and then also information about how they sign on.
Okay. This is revolutionary AI diagnosis diseases with 98% accuracy using a tongue color analysis. Wow.
Yes. I thought that was pretty. It says a revolutionary AI diagnosis, diseases with 98% accuracy. That's amazing.
It is
using the color of your tongue. So when you stick your tongue out, somebody's checking to see if you have a disease or going to have it.
Okay. We've talked about this. This is one of the ones from TechCrunch on all the Google stuff. Come down here. Let's see if we can get. Is this yours? Yeah. Grok 2 chatbot.
AI's new Grok 2 chatbots bring AI image generation to X. X, formerly known as Twitter, has their own AI software, and it's called Grok. And there's an update to Grok, and it's Grok 2, and they have a chatbot, and I understand it's very good.
All right, let me come down. This is because I want to go through these quickly because we got about a minute left. Google makes your pixel screenshots searchable with recall like AI feature. We talked about that. Satellite Pixel 9 series satellite SOH feature isn't coming to Canada. We talked about that. This is Google debuts Pixel Studio AI image making app. So there's a new, I don't have this. I think that's coming out. Pixel Studio AI image app, which is an interesting one.
Yeah, there is a new, it's called Flux, a new text to image generator that's very highly rated, and it's been in the AI news a lot.
Okay.
So if that's something you're interested in, you might want to check that.
Okay. Let me just see. I think we're just about finished. We talked about this loss of pulse detection, which I think is important. Google replaces Assistant with Gemini on all Pixel 9 phones, but mine as well did it. I think that's about it.
One thing about if you're toying with the idea of switching between Google Assistant and Gemini, make sure that the features that you're using in Assistant is supported in Gemini.
Right.
Particularly if you have a home automation and you use your watch or whatever phone to control those devices. Gemini may not support that.
True. Listen, it is top of the hour. I want to thank everyone for coming and listening. We do appreciate that your time is valuable, and to listen to us ramble on and on and on. Well, hopefully you've learned something today. So hopefully you've had fun, and you'll come back next week, because we're going to do it all again next week. Thank you, Huey, for being here. Thank you so much for all the articles you did today. Thank you, Ray, for your wisdom and talent as always. Thank you, Bill, for we wish you could come more often, but anyway, you're in such high demand. Anyway,
one last reminder.
Geeks on Tour. Thank you, everyone. See you at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Ask Chris anything. There you go. Any other final comments? John says, thank you, gentlemen. Excellent. Yes, we'll see you back same time, same place next week. Goodbye, and thank you for coming today.
So long.
Bye, everybody.